For the last couple months, I've been diving into all of Ableton 12's new features, and while some of them seem very exciting, I'm not totally convinced that it's worth the upgrade for 80 to 90% of producers. And before you go blowing up the comments saying, Fearless is out of his stinking mind, just hear me out for a second, and then you can be the ultimate judge. What's going on, everybody? I'm Fearless, and today, I gotta be honest with you. To me, this feels like a giant GUI update, and then them playing catch up with some different features such as like the MIDI splitting or the MIDI joining, things that other DAWs like FL Studio have had forever. And besides that, it feels like a giant hodgepodge of like random features that some producers may or may not ever use. For example, tunings. I don't give a solitary about tunings, but maybe you do. But let's go through the specific things I don't like about Ableton 12, and I'll be sharing some of the things I do like along the way. So smash that like button if you're Ableton gang, or if you're just a hater that's like, see, FL Studio's still better than Ableton. These features suck. Regardless, man, feel free to subscribe to the channel, and let's jump right into this. Let's start off with the generative tools. I mean, it's a cool idea, especially having it in the piano roll like that, but either the execution just isn't great or they're just not that useful to me. However, the one tool that I do think is useful is the stacks, because you can come up with different chords and chord variations very quickly and easily. So for someone that doesn't know music theory or just needs help building their chord progression, this is a great tool, and it's right there in the piano roll. Besides that, the other tools are different ways of creating rhythm and drum patterns. Yay. That's not how I like to program my drums, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use any of these tools in the future. Let me know if I'm tripping in the comments below. Are you guys going to be using these to generate your drums and melodies, or does it seem like a gimmick? We also just released a detailed video of all of the different generative tools in Ableton 12. If you guys want to see that, we'll leave a card at the top of the video now. One thing I do like about Ableton 12 is the updated mixer and the audio metering. Here's all the things they updated. For example, the updated ballistics for peak and RMS metering, which just gives you a better representation of the audio being played. So the second gripe I have is with the transformation tools. Now, don't get me wrong, I think these are definitely more useful than the generative tools. But to be honest, I don't know if I'm ever going to use any of these. I don't know, some of these just don't feel that well thought out to me. For instance, if we go to the strum, which I know a lot of people were happy about because it finally gives us a way to strum our notes. Basic chord here, we're going to highlight everything and we can move the highs and lows individually. And yeah, this is cool, right? But see what happens? It kind of goes off the screen here. Or if we want to go the opposite way, it starts off the screen. I don't know. There should be a good way to go ahead and move everything off of the grid. I should be able to move this over right here so it's still on the grid and everything's gonna play. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad they're adding something for strumming, but take a look at this tool. I talk about this all the time. It's called Sculptor. It's 100% free. You don't need Ableton 12. We're gonna go right down here to strum. And what I like about this is they give you the anchoring option. So if we want it to behave like strum, we'll leave it in the middle. Otherwise, if we want it to start from the beginning, we can do that. So now when we go ahead and start to strum it, it's not gonna move it off the grid, right? We can go ahead and move the end, do it there. Otherwise, if we wanna start from the middle and do something similar to Ableton has, we can do it that way. We can even start from the back. So you can see they've thought of way more stuff than Ableton here, and they even have edge behavior, which is what happens when it goes off of the grid or outside of the MIDI scope. On top of that, if I need to move it off the grid, I can go to start time really quick and I can just shift it over. Or how about connect, for example? If we go to this one, is it really just 4 knobs? Or how about quantize? Let's go to quantize really quick. Nice, we can go ahead and quantize our MIDI. Let's read Ableton's write-up for this though. Maybe we're missing something. Applies quantization based on the chosen grid. Nice. Something I love about Ableton 12 is they finally added all the hotkeys to slice MIDI, to join it, to split it, to do all of that crazy stuff. Some of those things that FL Studio and other DAWs have had for a while, but I think Ableton is doing it in a way better way than FL Studio. I mean, you don't have to open a menu to split the notes. You do it with the hotkeys. If you guys want to see our full video on all the piano roll updates and all those different hotkeys and everything, I'm going to leave a card to that at the top of this video now. Next, let's talk about the browser. And this was a huge part of the Ableton 12 update. Let's start off with some positives. I love the browser history, and also the fact that you can do similarity searches right in the browser is really awesome as well. But the filtering system, on the other hand, was an interesting choice. Now, it is super useful for sorting and filtering out all the different stock sounds that come in Ableton, everything that's under this library category right here. But there's no way I'm going to be able to sit down and tag all of the samples that are in my sample packs. And if you're someone that has any level of organization already with your sounds, maybe you're using Ableton's collections, do you really want to go through all the work of tagging those samples? But the positive is that all the stock sounds are already tagged. And similarity search is probably the most underrated Ableton 12 feature, and we just dropped a video on exactly why that is, so if you want to check that out, there's going to be a card. And the fourth thing we're going to talk about today is we're going to group some stuff together because there's things that I think should have been included in this update that would have went perfectly with all the other random updates that are in there as well. Things that the community's been asking for a while. Freezing an entire group seems like it should have been included in here because they added a freeze and flatten option so you can do both at the same time. Also, we still don't have like a native dry or wet knob for our plugins. ARA 2 support, I know the community's been asking that for a long time, and before you're like, what the heck is that? It stands for Audio Random Access, and it's a plugin extension that enables greater communication with your DAW, Pro Tools, Logic Pro, Studio One. We're kind of waiting for Ableton to add this as well. But let's head over and check out some of these community comments. Here we got Ableton, please, group freezing, flattening, strip silence, clip gain editing, make pitch automation a single button or default, option for dry or wet knob. Some of the new features look cool, but all I care about is having a software I can fully trust on. The last two versions of Live have gotten progressively worse. 10 years of producing, I'm asking for ARA 2 or another built-in pitch editing, bounce in place with one button, PDC delay compensation. I would love for Ableton to release a major build where the only changes are performance fixes. Address the issues such as a project that crashes from only one broken plugin. I can't tell you how many times I'll open up an old project and it'll just keep crashing over and over and over again. I even ran a poll to our YouTube community and I asked you guys, Ableton gang, in your opinion, is Ableton 12 worth the upgrade cost? New features go crazy, to be honest. I'm blessed with Suite, so I'll make the upgrade soon when I can afford it. Roar, everyone is talking about, but for real, it's cool. Yeah, Roar's an awesome plugin. It would probably be if they had actually advertised the fact that a huge number of the most widely used CPUs on the market today, including Intel i7 series, aren't able to run it. Is that real? I left for FL, so I guess this update was so bad that they just said, screw Ableton altogether, went to FL. We got one reply. Same, FL is actually surprisingly good and can open as a VST inside Ableton. For me, yes. But we also have to keep in mind that this update is going to cost everyone hundreds. I paid $194 and that was with a 20% off. So here's my last thoughts. If you're someone that has a recent version of Ableton, I'm not convinced that this is worth it for at least 80 to 90% of you guys. Unless there are like specific features that you know about right now, you probably already know what they are that are going to improve your workflow, or they're just things that you've been waiting for, that you've been dying to have. But if you're switching over from another DAW, I don't know if there's a better time to switch, honestly. It seems like we've caught up with all the things that were missing from FL Studio, and Ableton's added some new things. Whether they're super useful or not, that's another question, but they're innovating and they're improving, and it seems like Ableton's doing more than everybody else still. But if you want to find out more about all the different features in Ableton 12, you can check out either of these videos now. I go through everything.